Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? It is Sunday morning. I'm looking at my hair, and of course, my braids are out. But I did a workshop on yesterday, and one of the things that went on in the workshop was people want to know how to get started on the journey of eating clean. And so I thought instead of juicing today, because like I told y'all in the last two episodes, so this is probably episode maybe 113, I'm not really sure, but I stockpile my juices and I want to invite y'all into my cabinets, into my freezer, into my refrigerator so that you can see that I really do eat at least 90 to 95% clean. Once I started looking at how I run my life, and I wanted to share something with y'all too. I went out to, first of all, I was on that 40-day no eating out fast. So I fasted eating out, going to restaurants, letting somebody else prepare my food. It was placed upon my heart, prepare your own food. See what ingredients are going into your food. Look at what you're doing. I don't use preservatives. So everything that I use is probably plant based, the ingredients that I cook with anyway. And the foods are handpicked by me, mostly fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. The meat, of course, I get from the grocery stores. Once in a while, I'll go to the butcher shop to get the foods, but I want to say most of the time I just go to the local grocery store and get my meats. Now, one thing I do is when I pick up my meat, I smell it. I know it seems kind of strange, but I do smell it because when fish or meat or lamb or beef is rancid, um, you can just put your nose to the package and you can smell it. I found out that there's a grocery store in Newport News that um, the meats, especially their turkey wings, come in frozen. And so they must run it through a hot water bath or something to get it to start the thawing out process. And I've actually been in that grocery store when the staff just had baskets of turkey wings just sitting out. That's poultry. And, we can get salmonella from things like that if the temperature is not maintained. So we have to take responsibility for what's going in our bodies when we choose foods at the grocery store. So that's what this show is about. I want to take y'all on a journey with me today, and I don't think the show is going to be that long, but I wanted to show y'all I'm drinking yesterday after my workshop. And thank you, Overseer Chapman. I think the name of the church is Zion of Joy in Hampton, Virginia. But she bought me a bag of Granny Smith apples because she know that I love them. And so I had some apples left from the juice that we made for the workshop. And so I did apple, raspberry, Meyer lemon, orange juice yesterday. And so this is the last of that juice. And I didn't, like I said, I've stockpiled. And I'm going to show y'all a jar of the antioxidant juice that I did with blueberries, blackberries, dark grapes, and white grapes, ginger, and those Meyer lemon oranges. So I'm going to take a sip and then I'm going to get started. So while I'm taking a sip, I'm going to give you all a chance to get a pen and paper so that you can write down what I cook with, what I bake with, what cereals that I eat, because this has been, for me now, this is going on 7 years. So in my 6 year journey with being cancer free, I had to learn to put more nutritious things in my body that was going to feed cells, keep them alive and healthy, and kill off the bad cells and kill off the free radicals that would cause degenerative diseases. So get your pen and paper, and I'm going to take a sip. Actually, I'm thirsty a little bit because it's morning. It's a little bit before 11 on Sunday morning, and I've been eating some sweet potato chips. Do y'all want to see those too? Because I'm going to show them to you. So when I go to the health food store, they're open. So I'm going to show you a bag. And so this is just an educational information day. So this is the chips that I eat. They're sweet potato chips with sea salt. Now, these are the ingredients because, like I told y'all before, I always go to right there. I look at the ingredients. I don't necessarily look in the nutrition facts, but I do want to know what's in it. So, what's in these sweet potato chips is sweet potatoes, avocado oil, and sea salt. Just three ingredients for those of you who can have sweet potatoes. So that's just a snack because I do like snacking sometimes. And even this morning, I'm not eating breakfast. I've already been to the grocery store. I love watermelon, and they were out of the small single serving watermelon. So I do have a cantaloupe that I'm going to cut up later for my husband and I because I do like fresh fruits and vegetables. I've fallen in love with them, and that's what I want you to do. I want your taste buds are going to change as you make the transition from eating a lot of foods that are non-nutritious to eating more nutritious foods, and your body's going to begin to crave those. Got some bananas this morning. I'm going to show y'all because I want you to see that I'm really living this life. I'm not just talking about it. Got some bananas, and about midweek, I will take some of these bananas and I will freeze them. Why do I freeze them? I'm going to show you. Here is an overripe banana. You see that? That's been sitting. But I'm going to peel this and freeze this one as well. Overripe bananas are really good for people who are dealing with depression, people who are dealing with anxiety. Um, that's what overripe bananas. But overripe bananas are the second cancer killing fruit that there is. Kumquat is number one, or guanabana. But this is what I do with my bananas. You see, they're still nice. They're not really ripe, but I freeze them, wrap them in some saran wrap, and then I'll make me a smoothie. And I'll show y'all the ingredients that I use with my smoothie. But I'm going to move on. So I think that all of you have your pen or pencil and paper. Let's get started today on what ingredients you can use to cook with. So I'm going to start with oils first. And because my nickname is Frankie, I like having things that maybe if I were in that position, I probably would come out with some products. I'm going to take my glasses off so there won't be a great reflection there, but I want to show y'all. So I ordered this from Amazon, and this is called Frankie's 457, but that is organic extra virgin olive oil. And we do need the olive oil in our bodies because it's really, really good for us. It's good for our joints. It's good for our digestive tract. So that is called Frankie's. Let me see. Can y'all see that? Bring it to the camera a little bit closer. All right. The next thing that I use when I am cooking, so far as an oil, my favorite of all of them, I even fry in this, and this jar is empty because I used it last night. When when I cook anything, this is my foundation: the virgin coconut oil from Dr. Bronner's. Now, listen, I'm not, I am not being paid to promote these products, but what I am being paid and how I'm being paid is I feel good. That's my payment. I feel good in helping you to feel better. Okay. So that's what I want to say to you all. I am doing this because I am concerned that we're not doing the little things to feel better. When I was diagnosed with cancer, it shifted my thinking. I was doing something wrong, and it was causing me to, I could have died. But by the grace of God, I am still here, and I want to help somebody. So that's my pay. I would love to be paid by these people because I'm promoting their product, because you're going to go out and buy their product. But even if I'm not, these products you can order on Amazon. I get a percentage of that, but it's a very small percentage of um, what I would be paid if I was selling directly or getting a sponsorship or whatever you want to call it. That's not the point of the show. The point of the show is I want you to see what you need to change in your pantry that you can cook with. So this is Dr. Bronner's. I like the dark brown label. They do have one that has a light brown label, but that's the Dr. Bronner's coconut oil. And this is 30 ounces. And this runs about $19 at Whole Foods. Doing a shout out for Whole Foods too. And there is, if you're in the Newport News area, there is a health food store in Hilton called Health Trail. It's over near the Food Lion Shopping Center over in the Hilton area. They also have this. So if they don't have it, ask them to order it for you so that you can have it. The next oil that I use, we get this from BJ's. This is Wesley Farms avocado oil. And that's another oil that I use to cook with. Now, what do I do with the coconut oil? There's several things that I do with this coconut oil. One thing is when I'm frying lamb or I am frying fish, mostly salmon, because I love to make fresh salmon bites or salmon steaks, because that's what we had last week. And so when I'm frying, doing any type of frying, I use the coconut oil. And it is pretty expensive, but at the same time, it's your health. Aren't you worth it? That's what I'm talking about when I say love yourself. Aren't you worth the extra effort to go to the store and get the right products to feed your inner man, to feed who you really are? Aren't you worth it to do that? Um, I heard somebody, I was having talking to one of my friends this morning, and she was saying the cost of living is becoming so much, and rent is going up, and these things are going up. And I'm thinking, but the power of God in our lives will sustain us. There's a scripture in the book of Ruth that says, I'm a restorer of your life, and I'm a nourisher of your old age. When we learn to stand on the word and trust and rely and relax in who God is and who He has made us, He will provide for us. But we also have to be in a position where the finances or the resources can flow to us. We have to speak the word over ourselves. We can't speak what we see in the media or what's going on around us. Sure, I see it, but it still doesn't stop the blessing. And sometimes when certain things come, it comes from the book of Paul. Paul says, I know how to abase and I know how to abound. I know how to live in plenty, but I also know how to live in lack. Then we have to know the scripture that says, or I hear it just coming up in my mind and in my spirit, I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. Also, David said in the book of Psalms, he said, Lord, David's prayer was, I don't want to be so rich that I forget you, but I don't want to be so poor that I bring shame to your name. So I've given you all those scriptures to remind you, you are children of the King, and God wants you to be healthy. There are products out there to help you to stay healthy, and I am here as his servant to help you in that journey for being healthy. Now, if you hear my oven going off because I got about 3 more minutes, I'm baking my peanuts, raw peanuts, because I like putting things in my body that's going to feed me nutritiously, and I want you to do the same. So there you have the 3 oils that I use. Back to what else I do with the coconut oil. So now, coconut oil for me was my butter for a very long time until I found out that I can have butter, not margarine, but I can have butter, but I still eat butter in moderation. I don't, this is my butter. When I cook corn on the cob or just canned corn, or if I cut the corn off of the cob, then what I'll do is I will melt some of the coconut oil, and especially during the summertime when I have my cookouts, my family loves my corn on the cob because they think that it's butter. But the coconut oil has a sweetness to it. So when you put your corn on the cob, cooking it just in not no water, don't add water to it, but just melt this, stir fry your or no, stir or rotate your corn on the cob, little bit of Celtic salt, little bit of pepper, and then some Parmesan cheese on top of that. Yummy. That's a really good recipe for you. Or what else did I do with this? Oh, I love snow crab legs, right? So again, this is my butter. So for a lot of people, they will melt butter and dip their crab legs in it. Well, butter for me, I can't have that much butter in my system, and I know it because I know that butter is okay to have, but I know that coconut oil is doing dual duty, or it's doing 2 things for me at once. I'm enjoying the taste and the flavor, but coconut oil also is cleansing the liver. So you see, Some people put it in their hair. Some people put it on their skin. I don't. I use it in my food so that it can go in my body and I can feel better. Give me a second. I'm going to cut off the stove because when I cook my raw peanuts, I'm going to show you guys. When I cook my raw peanuts, this is Hampton Farms. I get these from the grocery store raw. And they're natural peanuts, no salt added. And so my peanuts are calling for me. And so I put them in the oven at 325 for 25 minutes, and then I cut the oven off, but I leave the peanuts in. And as the oven is cooling down, the peanuts are continuing to cook for just a few more minutes. So that's another snack because oh my gosh, I'm a snacker. But I like to have healthy things. All right, so then the next thing, let me see if I have any more oils up here. So, because I have it in categories for everybody. So now let's go to condiments or things that I season my food with. The main thing that I season my food with is Celtic salt. For those of you who can have salt, all right, it's Celtic salt. It this it's a product of France, and so if right now, because there's such a demand for Celtic salt, because people are realizing that this salt actually has 62 trace minerals of the 112, 109 trace minerals that the body needs. The body needs minerals for the neurons and the nervous system. And so this is really good. But if you have high blood pressure, if you have hypertension, then this may be something that you cannot have in your diet. Listen to me. Now, I don't want to get feedback from people saying, but you said I could have the Celtic salt. No, if you don't have underlying conditions, you can have this. But if you know that you have high blood pressure, if you have swelling in your body where your body retains fluid, I'm telling you, you can't have it. Because if you do, you're playing with yourself. Tell yourself the truth about your journey, where you are right now. That's what this show is about. Products that you can have. See, before I was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have um, diabetes. I didn't have high cholesterol. And I still don't. But I was diagnosed with cancer. The foods that we eat will affect our bodies differently because of the conditions that are already in our bodies, the foods that we gravitate to the most, and that's what will cause our bodies and those free radicals to attack, and the manifestation of what we eat will show differently in different people. But I am saying to you, I'm showing you ingredients that I use that I had to learn to transition to in my journey of health and wholeness and soundness of mind. All right. The other thing that other condiment. Now, my husband likes. He loves ketchup. I'm not a ketchup eater, but on occasion when I do meatloaf with ground chicken or ground turkey, we're not big on beef, but we do like lamb. Once in a while, I may fix some beef, but maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 or 3 years. I'm just not a big beef eater. But look at this. This is Heinz, and they were so kind to create a sugar. This is no sugar added. Now, I will say to you, when you are on a diet or whatever, and they tell you fat free, sugar free, be careful. I, I'm I'm not putting down any weight loss program. That's not what I'm doing. I am letting you know when you're doing fat free, sugar free, that means that you may be getting artificial products going in your body, artificial sweeteners going in your body, and you definitely don't want artificial sweeteners going in your body because at the end of all of that, yes, you may be losing a ton of weight, but at the end of that journey, at the end of that course, what have you done to your cells inside? And I'm proud. I am going to applaud anybody who has taken the journey to lose weight. But what I am saying is find the better for you. stay away from fat free, sugar free, because I promise you, it has products in it that could be detrimental to your health along the way. This says no sugar added. But what is in it, and I'm going to tell you, it has tomatoes from red ripe tomatoes, white vinegar, does have salt. It has natural flavorings, stevia, leaf extract. Now, natural flavorings, they don't, they're, because it's such a small percentage of natural flavorings, whatever they are, um, they don't have to tell us. They don't have to reveal that to us, which that may be a little bit of a problem too, but it's still no sugar added, so I'm okay with it. They also have onion powder in here, and so those are the ingredients. And I think I told you it had stevia. Stevia is the sweetener in here. Stevia is a natural plant, and what they do, they bake it down until it is dehydrated. Then they grind it up, and then they make it into a powder, and that's what they're giving us as a sweetener. The next thing that I love this product, and I'll show you something else too. This is the maple syrup that I get. This is Parker's maple syrup. This is a Christian family on the back. It's they have scripture from John 15:5, but this is 100% maple syrup forested out of New York. And I'm going to tell you something else they make, which I really love, and I have a bunch of it in my cabinet, so I'm going to show that to you as well. When I bake, if I'm doing muffins from the pulp from when we juice, because I just did some banana carrot muffins, sweeten it with the maple syrup. I didn't have to use any of the sugars, but I'll show you the sugars that I use. But I'm going to show you something else that Parker's make that I like. They make what is called maple butter. You know, when you have milk, milk can be churned or spun down. Um, yeah, churned into butter. Well, this young boy found out that when he was young, his parents used to make maple butter, and all it is taking the the maple syrup and putting it a in a barrel. I guess I don't know how they make it, but they're spinning it until it becomes butter. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I was on my popcorn kick, I used to take this and I would heat it up with a little bit of the coconut oil, add some pecans to it, and then I would pour it over my popcorn, and then I would have my own I call it Cracker Jacks or whatever, but I use this product, Parker's Maple Butter. Don't do that very often because, you know, still is sweet. And if you're not exercising or have an active life, then you are going to put on the pounds. So I'm trying to give y'all my thought process with the foods that I eat. Another condiment that I use is liquid aminos, because when I grew up, we ate a lot of Chinese food. We had yak. My mom makes her own yak. And so whenever I want a soy sauce flavor without the sodium, I get the liquid aminos. This is Bragg's. You know, Bragg's also sells vinegar. They even sell drinks, but I use the liquid aminos. They also have what is that? Some type of yeast that you can sprinkle over potatoes or whatever. Um, and so that that's some of the condiments that I use. Of course, fresh garlic or garlic powder. I use Italian seasonings. I do not use anything that says seasoning salt. I don't use any of that. So any of the products that you use that have the seasoning salts, you're wondering why your body's retaining fluid. You're wondering why there are things that's going on with your health and you can't figure it out. It could be the products that you are cooking with and you're not taking the time to read the label and what's in the ingredients. You just look at the nutrition facts and it says this amount of sodium. If it says seasoning salt, cut it out. Don't buy it. Do not buy it. Get it out of your cabinet. The next thing I use, and these are, you know, I don't have full jars with some stuff because I use it. So I got this honey from one of the local grocery stores, but I normally get my honey from Bees. I think it's Bees Bean. I'll have to look it up in my phone and I'll tell y'all on another episode. But this is a bee farmer that was born in Virginia. He lives in Atlanta now, and he has a bee farm. And I do think it's Bees, Bees, um, Bean, Bean. But don't quote me on that. But it is a bee farmer in Atlanta, and I want to say, because I support local, but I also support small businesses, and I also support Black businesses. And it's a Black bee farmer in Atlanta, and so I support him. This bee farm is from Lexington, Virginia, and so that's that one. This is from the wildflower honey. And there are different flavors of honey. And so I don't like the dark honey, whatever plant that comes from, but I like honey. And so when I'm baking, I use honey. Then the next thing, we're going to continue on with the baking products because I do on occasion, like today is Sunday, I have homework, but I'm also going to bake some type of, I won't say a dessert, but some type of muffin for my husband and I, so that we can have something that's a filler. When you get hungry, you can have your muffin. You can have it with your juice. You can have it with your breakfast in the morning. You can have it when you get a little bit hungry and you want to feel fuller. And so um, I will make us some muffins for the week. So the first one that I'm going to show you all this flour, because we're moving on to flours now. We've done oils, we've done condiments, we've done sweeteners. I'm going to go back to sweeteners because that was the honey and the maple syrup. So now look at this. This is monk fruit sweetener. That one, I really couldn't tell the difference when I used this one. Monk fruit is a fruit, and so again, they've dehydrated it, taken the moisture or water content out of it, and then ground it up and made it into a powder. It actually looks like brown sugar if you want to look at the bottom of the bag. And then I have this coconut sugar. This is organic coconut sugar. And there's a recipe on the back for chocolate chip cookies if you want. But again, the recipe on the back says that you can have all-purpose flour. I don't cook with all-purpose flour because all-purpose flour, the whey, W-H-E-Y, has been taken out of it. That's a protein that is in flours or in the grain. And when that's taken out, then the nutrients are taken out. And so it has no benefit to the body except it converts to sugar in the body. The flour, the white flour that we purchase, we can't have that. And that's why I'm showing y'all options and alternatives. And I'm going to show you what else too. Let's see. That's the date. Did I show y'all the date flour? No. So this is the date sugar. And this is really good. And so not only do I have date sugar, but I also have the Medjool dates. You can see them on the side. You see them? They look like what are those things? Prunes, but they're actually dates, and they have a seed in it. So my frozen bananas, when I want a cold or frozen drink, I'll make me a frozen smoothie. And I'm going to be going back and forth off the camera, because some things have to stay in the refrigerator. So what I'll do is I'll take a cup of Planet Oat milk. Can y'all see that? That's what I use. That's the kind of milk that I use. And I will put 2 cups of that in my Vitamix. And I'll put 2 bananas from the freezer. Of course, you take the plastic off because I'm realizing I have to be detailed in descriptions and when I'm giving you a recipe, because some people may not know that. I know y'all are like, right. No, but some people really don't know. So I have to take the plastic off of the bananas, and then I break them in half. They're easy to break, and I put them in my Vitamix. And then I will put 3 of these Medjool dates, and then I will also put a teaspoon of my cacao powder. That's cacao powder, CACAO powder. And then I have me a chocolate milkshake, and it is fantastic. So I'm telling y'all, I eat basically what I want to eat, but I had to learn how to prepare the foods, what to cook the foods with, so that I would feel better inside and out. All right, let's see. So we've done the sugars, the sweeteners, and so let's go to the flours that I use. I told y'all don't use the white flour because the minerals and nutritional value of the flours have been taken out. So this is almond flour. Now, almond flour, this contains, the ingredients in this are blanched almonds, and that's it. That's all. Blanched. They have been cleaned up really good. Now this one, this is the super fine one. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And this is what I bake with. Yeah, I'll take some out so y'all can see it. And you can even eat it because it's just almonds. That's good too. But you see, we can't, with regular white flour, we can't take white flour out of the bag and eat it. But that's just ground up almonds, but they made it into a flour. And that's what I bake with on occasion. Not all the time, but on occasion. That's really good. There's a snack for me. So I have to close the bag back up. They have a almond chocolate chip cookie recipe on this particular bag. And listen at the ingredients. Almond flour, baking soda, salt, coconut oil, maple syrup, eggs, vanilla extract, and dark chocolate chips. Now you have to find a place that has unsweetened chocolate chips. And then you're going to maybe roll them over or you know that they're going to be bitter. So you don't put a lot of those in. I don't bake with chocolate chips because I don't like chocolate like that. But anyway, that's one of the flours I use. The other flour is this oat flour. What's the ingredients? Whole grain organic oats and buckwheat flour. Look at that. Oat flour blend. Where did I get this from? I probably got this from Whole Foods. My favorite flour. And listen, guys, whenever I open a bag of anything, especially flour, years ago when I was little, there was always bugs, and I didn't understand. They were always like, I call them mealy bugs because it would be a small bug that would get in. So I just seal everything up inside of a Ziploc bag. But this is my favorite flour because this is the flour. This is also by Bob's, but this is 100% stone ground whole wheat flour. This is amazing because this is what I use to make peanut butter cookies. This is what I use to make my pizza dough. And let's see, they even have, they got several recipes: muffins, honey whole wheat bread, and Oregon Trail cookies. And they have a bunch of stuff in it. I don't recommend the brown sugar. Get your monk fruit sugar. You can look at the recipes of some things, but you have to modify and make some changes to the recipe so that you'll be sure that you're feeding yourself properly. And, this journey is not for anybody that just want something handed to them. Like you drive up to the drive-through window and it's gonna just pop out to you and it's all ready for you. But that kind of food has consequences on the body. So let's see. That's the flour products. So now somebody asked me yesterday at the workshop, which prompted me to do this today. They said they love fried oysters, but because the white flour that I told them converts to sugar in the body and they're diabetic, what can they cook their oysters in? And my answer to them was what my mom, my grandmother, and probably her mom and grandmother cooked seafood in. Look at this. White ground cornmeal. Right there. And I get yellow cornmeal and I also get white cornmeal. And then look at this recipe. It says they're cornbread. Now, I haven't had cornbread in a long time, but there's a cornbread recipe up here. Let me see and it's just, all right, so it's meal and flour. This is cornmeal, and this is self-rising. So cornmeal, let's see what's in here though. So it has cornmeal, thiamine, which is a mineral, niacin, which is thiamine is B1, I think. Let me see. I'm going to tell y'all. Thiamine is B1. So this has lots of vitamins. It has niacin, which is B3. It has riboflavin. It has iron. It has folic acid. It has salt in it. And then it has something to cause it to um, bind together. But listen at this. It's 100 milligrams of calcium in the cornmeal. So I want y'all to look at the ingredients, but also look at the nutrition facts second. Ingredients first, nutrition facts second. Now, in this cornmeal, it does have 390 milligrams of sodium because it has sodium bicarbonate, baking powder, baking soda, baking powder, baking soda. It has one of the two of those ingredients. So, but this is a little bit better for you than the white flour. Then what else am I going to show y'all? Along with this, what else do I eat or add in my diet? So a lot of us love, and I still do, we love macaroni and cheese, right? So now, they sell this at Kroger's too. So this is Bonza chickpea noodles. You can see on the back, they have a macaroni salad recipe, but this is chickpeas, pea starch, and tapioca all mixed in. See, there are people and companies that understand that there are people who really want to take care of themselves and feel better. And so there are a lot of products out now that you can have to make yourself feel better. So that's the chickpea macaroni. Then this is what I was telling the people about, because I used to love oodles of noodles, but I don't eat those anymore. So this is millet, flour, and brown rice ramen noodles. And what's in it? Organic brown rice and millet flour. That's all that's in here. This particular package, you have 4 servings of the noodles, but it doesn't have the flavor packet. Why? Because you season it to your own taste. Then another thing, now, last week I was on the kick of I just wanted some Chinese food. So I knew that I couldn't go to the store and get my Chinese food. So I had to make my Chinese food. And we would cook our brown rice. And then it would, sometimes I would eat it right then. And sometimes I would put it in the refrigerator, because they're saying when you fix fried rice, the fried rice should be a day old. But of course, a day old in the refrigerator. You can't leave food out, because bacteria will start to grow if you leave your rice out. So, but anyway, the brown rice. So that's the brown rice that I use. And then for breakfast, because a lot of people are like, what do you eat for breakfast? And how many times a day do you eat? I eat when I'm hungry. That's how I base everything. When I get hungry, I eat something. I know that in the morning, I'm exerting more energy in the morning. So I have, last 2 weeks, I've been craving peanuts and watermelon. So that's what I had for breakfast. Then around lunchtime, I would stir fry some collard greens with some onions and coconut oil, and cut up some shrimp and put that in it. And one of those days I had that with grits. And then another day I just had that with 3 eggs, scrambled all up in it. But I still got my fresh vegetables. I got my protein from my eggs, and I got protein from the shrimp, but also the other minerals that I got from all of that. So I eat when I'm hungry, because if you wait till you are really hungry, you're going to binge eat, and you are going to eat whatever you can get your hands on to satisfy that hunger. I want to say this too before I share with y'all the breakfast foods that are out there. And on occasion, I may crave cereal. But when we went out to eat on yesterday, there's a seafood restaurant where I live, wonderful food. And but I noticed, because I've been cooking my own food, even once I came off of the no eating out for 40 days, I found out that I feel better emotionally. I am more peaceful. I'm calmer. I'm not overthinking things, as my number two grandson tells me. He's my oldest grandson, but he's the number two grandchild, or yeah, my grandest. And so he said, Grandma, you just overthink things. But once I went on the 40-day no eating out fast, all of that overthinking things, I could think clearer. I wasn't challenging people in my mind, because sometimes we can do that. None of that. All of that went away. And so I thought, I'm going to continue on the journey of cooking my own meals every day. So I'll know exactly what's going on, what's going in my body. So listen, so we go out to eat, and I had some shrimp, fried shrimp. I had some hush puppies. I had crab imperial. I like to take the inside of the hush puppies out because I like the crunch on the outside, and then I'll stuff the inside of the hush puppies with the crab meat. I had mashed potatoes. I had what else did I have? Coleslaw. So I ate. That's a lot of food, and so I brought some food home, and because I couldn't eat all of it, and then I ate some more as soon as I got home. And I listened to my body, and I watched my body when it's starting to want to eat more than what I know is the filling point for me. I ate all of that food except the rest of my mashed potatoes and the coleslaw. I think I ate maybe half of the serving that they gave, but I was still hungry. And I thought about it, and I was like, why are you still hungry when you ate all of this food? I'll tell you why. Because maybe this will help someone. Because all of that food that I had, the nutritional value of all of that food was probably 2% of what my body needed. My body, after the 40 days, so that 40 days, I've been over that since I think February 13th. So here we are, March 17th. So it's past a month that I've still been cooking my own food after coming off of the no eating out fast. My body said, you have not given me the nutrients that I need to sustain me from this meal. Did y'all hear what I said? We have to have nutrient rich food. So even though I had coleslaw, there was not enough nutrients in the greens from the coleslaw to nourish my body enough that I was satisfied. So that not being satisfied from a meal is one of the things that will make us binge eat or eat more. Or why am I still hungry after I ate all of this food? You're still hungry because nothing that you ate was nutrient rich. It's just like when I have the juice. That's why I like making my own juice, because I know that I'm getting a lot of nutrients from the juice. That's why I do the juice show, because I'm full. I had my juice. I had a few of those sweet potato chips, and I am satisfied. Now, I know that in a minute, maybe another hour, because we've been on for 34 minutes. So maybe in another hour or so, I'll just fix me an egg. My husband boiled eggs yesterday, so I might eat some eggs or scramble me some eggs, or just fix me something that I know will carry me until it's time for me to prepare dinner. I'm giving y'all some tips. I'm trying to help you to understand. You have to think about what you're going to think about that's going in your body, and why. Why am I still hungry after I've eaten all of this food? Why am I gaining weight? My body is making me crave. No, let's calm down. Take a deep breath. You need a fresh green salad every day. And then your body's going to get the nutrients that it needs. Every single day, you need a green vegetable. Every single day. Every day. That's what you need. All right. So I'm going to move right along and show y'all some things I do have for breakfast. I'm going to go back to the refrigerator because some things that I have cannot be outside of the refrigerator. So I told the people on yesterday, Ezekiel bread. I love the Ezekiel muffins. I don't think you can see it because it's been in the freezer. And Ezekiel bread has to stay in the freezer. So these are Ezekiel English muffins. I love them. And you talking about feeling full, but I do use the coconut oil on the Ezekiel bread once I've baked it, but I also, let me see if I have some in my refrigerator, guys. Yes, I do. So this is another thing that I use. This is marmalade. Can y'all see that? And this is one of my favorites. It's a fruit spread, but it's all natural. It's sweetened, with grapes and fruit juice. The fruit juice from the natural fruit. So that's what I'll put on my English muffin. And then another thing that I have when I'm snacking in the evenings, I use kombucha. It's a probiotic for the body. You see that? hmm And that's in the produce section. And I like that particular brand. Uh, of course, have in my refrigerator. Can y'all see that? That's an avocado. And let me see. That's basically it. That's giving y'all a good start. But I want to show y'all some other things too for breakfast. So with your muffin, if you find that you're getting hungry, my husband loves peanut butter. And so I'll get the unsweetened because we did peanut butter cookies the other day. And so I get the unsweetened, get this from Whole Foods, but it's the unsweetened peanut butter because I'm going to sweeten it with the maple syrup or the honey. And then this is another peanut butter by Justin's. And this one, the only thing it has in it is dry roasted peanuts and palm oil. Palm oil, we can have palm oil. So that's one of the oils that we can have. I just don't cook with it because I've never tried it out. And then the cereal. When I was diagnosed with cancer, there's certain things that I was craving and I wanted a bowl of cereal. But I knew when I went to the grocery store and went on the cereal aisle and looked at all of the ingredients in the cereal, box cereals there, the cereal, all of it, sugar, sugar, sugar. And I got disappointed. I was like, God, there has got to be somebody that makes a cereal for people who can't have sugar, who can't feed their cells sugar. I wanted to know, and that is the cane sugar that has been mass produced, broken down, and refined, granulated sugar, high fructose corn syrup. I can't put that in my body. And so it took maybe a year and I had to compensate that craving. I don't remember what I did, but I knew I couldn't have any of that cereal and I had to tell myself you need to get over it until you can find something. So now this is my favorite. This is the Ezekiel. And the people who make this, I'm blessed by it because they took the scripture and they went in and every item that was in Ezekiel 4:9 in the Bible, they went in millet, wheat, barley, soybeans, spelt, and lentils are all in here. Now listen at the vitamins that this box of cereal gives. You are getting vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K. You're getting thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6. You're getting folic acid. You're not getting any of that. You're getting phosphorus. You're getting magnesium, manganese, and zinc. All of those are in here. Okay? It even has rosemary extract in here. Rosemary extract is really good for memory. So for those of you, look at that. Ezekiel cereal. Of course, you're going to have to either sweeten it with maple syrup or a little bit of honey, or put your banana, some fresh strawberries, fresh blueberries in it to sweeten it. And then they have this one. This one has almonds, and it's the same. It's Ezekiel. It's from the Ezekiel company. So I want to tell y'all, I think that I have gone over everything. One more thing. When I'm doing my banana smoothie with the cacao powder, this is something that I also use. Now, for a lot of us that are getting older and we don't know what oils that we need in the body, we need a lot of omega-3s. And omega-3s come in salmon and the other product that I know omega-3s are in is flaxseed. So when you get flaxseed, this is ground flaxseed, you keep it in the refrigerator because it helps the shelf life. Now listen at this. This has omega-3s, omega-6, and omega-9, and it has lignans. but this is cold milled ground flaxseed. This is one of the nutrients that the body needs, especially for heart health. That would be your cardiovascular system, cardiovascular health, your cholesterol levels. And when you eat your fruits and vegetables, make sure, make sure that you do it every day. So, guys, this is the end of this show. I hope that this has helped somebody. And I'm going to put this as what do I cook with? And I think I'm going to name it so that when people ask me when I go out and do my workshops, how can I restart? How can I reboot? Because one of the things y'all know that I had to do, I stopped eating everything that I once did so that I could live. What about you? Don't you want a better quality of life? Don't you want to feel better mentally? Don't you want to feel better physically? Don't you want to just enjoy your life and not have to worry about your health? So, all of these ingredients, guys, you know, it wasn't very expensive. A lot of people think that eating clean is expensive. No, it takes time, though. It's going to take your time for you to start doing you right and cooking your own food. And anyway, what are you doing anyway? You're going to start enjoying cooking your food. I'm telling you, when you start making your own pizza dough and the flavor of your homemade pizza dough, and then you put anything you want on it, anything that's nutritious on it. Oh, and I'll show y'all the pizza sauce that I use. Let me see. hmm So I use classical traditional pizza sauce. And what's in it? It has tomato puree, tomato paste, tomatoes. It has a little bit of sugar, but the percentage of sugar is way down. It has 2 grams of added sugar. hmm And so that little bit I think will be okay. All right. So, guys, that's the end of the show. God bless y'all this week. I hope that you enjoy this episode. I hope that you take care of yourself. And my prayer for you is that you love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your might. But you love yourself just as much. If you don't love yourself, you don't have anything to give to anybody else. So love yourself. Bye, everybody.